TCC administration. Starting today until Friday will be your prelim examination. So please contact your instructors for them to give their examination. Okay. So let's start. So for this afternoon, uh, I'll be discussing about the basic Excel functions that is commonly used for data analysis. Wait lang, I'll just share lang the ano. Ayan. Can anyone confirm na they can see the presentation?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
Yes,
very
sir.
good. Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So this is what will happen for today. So I'll be doing the presentation, or I'll just go over with the presentation, and then later on I'll be providing some demonstration. Okay, I hope that's clear with you guys. So okay, sige, let's start. Okay, we have here the first slide. You have here basic Excel functions for data analysis. So usually when we do data analysis, Gali, it means that you are given with a set of you either provide a set of data or a set of records that will be used in order to come up with a particular decision or to generate a particular report. Like for example, your company generates or provides a sales report to the accounting office or to the accounting firm for them to verify your expenses, whether it be operational or other type of expenses. Diba? Those are example. You also have sales report, ano ba mga ibang report yung kayang sales report, management report, or lahat ng data na pwedeng gawa ng reports will be considered as a tool for data analysis. Now, good thing with Google Sheet, aside from Microsoft Excel, si Google Sheet is also capable of doing data analysis. Okay, so let's this discussion for today will be focused on the basic, which includes sum, average, max, mean, and then the last one is if. Ito yung medyo quite advanced, but then kaya na siya. Okay, now let's learn how to use these functions to get the most out of your data. Okay, let's start first with the sum function. uh, a sum function, or maybe you are not that quite familiar with function, in technicality or in IT terms, yung function are predefined words created by a certain software or a certain application that will help a particular user to perform an operation without doing it manually. Like for example, instead of me using the plus symbol or the addition symbol, I can just use the sum function to add all of the data or all of the numbers that needs a sum result. Okay? So yan yung ibig sabihin ng function. It's just an easy way to do it instead of doing it manually. Okay? So we have here its basic definition. Now, it is used to add up a range of cells. So if it's in Google Sheet, we will be adding a range of cells. So it could either be from A1 to B3, A1 to E6. Those are example of cell range. And then to use this one, you are to select a particular cell where the sum should appear. So ibig sabihin, aside from the range, you need to dedicate a particular area or a particular cell that will hold the value of the result. Okay? Now, in by its definition, the sum function is used to add up a range of cells, and then to use this function, we just simply select the cell where where we want the sum to appear. Like for example, we type equals sum, and then followed by the range of cells that we would want to add, and then we can also add another set of cell range separated by comma. For example, to add up the values in A1 through A5, we can type equals sum A1 open parenthesis A1 colon A5 and then close parenthesis. That's an example. So if you notice, with my discussion for sum, ang ginagawa niya is that it basically just adds all of the data in a given range, and if you would want another set of range, you just separate it with a comma. Okay? Again, you can do or you can add a set or a group of numbers. Like for example, you're given with a range, and then if you have another set na pod of numbers, you can just use it and then call it using or separate them with a comma. Okay, now remember, when we are doing data analysis in Google Sheet, lahat ng mathematical operations will always start with an equal symbol. Yung equal symbol will tell Google Sheet na you are performing a particular mathematical operation. Okay? Am I clear? Okay. So, I did not hear any
Well,
response. You can just type, o sige daw, for me to confirm na you don't have any question regarding this one, could you please type the word sum in your in-call messages? S-U-M, sum. Ayan, di ba? Simple lang kasi nandiyan, kay data analysis sa madadani man. Okay. Very good, very good. Di ba? It's quite simple. Again, if you have any other questions, you can just raise your hand directly para I can answer that. Okay, the next one. You have here the average. Okay, what's the purpose of having an average DI? So by definition, the average function in Google Sheet is used to calculate the average of a range of cells. To use this function, we are to select the cell where we would want the average to appear. Then we type equals average and then we select a group or a range of cells. This one is followed by a range of cells that you would want to average, and just like sum, you can just separate another set of range through a comma. For example, to calculate the average of the values in cells A1 through A5, you would type equals average A1 up until to A5. Now, in statistics, diba, the average is equivalent to the mean. Okay, so this one is actually very important in data. What they call this one? In data analysis, because it provides the one who will use the data on what's the mean data or what's the mean record for them to either generate a particular decision. Okay, so yan yung purpose nila usually. Like bosses, supervisors would always, like for example, they are confused as to which price should really be the range, then they can just get the average. Okay, so a common example is adding three numbers, diba? Adding three numbers and then divide them by three. That's the basic average. Now, with Google Sheet, instead of, for example, you have 30 records or 30 numbers or 30 set of numbers, like 30. So instead of doing it like, for example, you add number one, number two, number three, number four, number five, what we will do is that we will use the function. Okay, we just type equals average and then select the range, and then we will have the answer for that one. Okay, instead of doing it manually, we can just use the function. Okay, now please make sure ito yung common mistakes whenever we do the average. The average kay they are different man gyud with Microsoft Excel. Sa Microsoft Excel, I don't know, not I don't know, but I'm not sure na if it's still AVE. But in Google Sheet, kinakailangan mo talagang i-type yung the word average. Okay? So, yan yung basic nila na difference. Okay? Now, let's all remember na we are talking about data analysis with mathematical operations. So, ibig sabihin, yung mga kaya lang nilang i-average are those numbers that involves value in numerical form. Okay? Like for example, if this particular data set is for arranging the data, you don't need to average them. Okay? Like for example, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, if dili siya, if ang iyang purpose is just for numbering, do not use them for data analysis. Okay? That's one of the common mistake yapon in data analysis. So there are just certain set of data sets that can be used for data analysis, not all of the numbers. Okay? Like for example, you cannot do average on a contact number. Okay, kaya mas nito ni mag-average sa contact number daning, di ba? Murag that's not appropriate. So if you have a question with average, you may raise your hand right now. If you don't have any other question, you can type average in our in-call messages for me to confirm na, sir, I don't have any question regarding the average function. Okay. Okay. I think majority of you here understood the average, di ba? Especially if we are talking about mathematics. So basic pa lang ni siya, dagan pa kayo ni siya actually functions. These are just the common functions used in data analysis. Next, Okay, thank you so much everyone for that response. Let's have the next slide. Ito. So if you notice, yung ginamit kong picture is a mountain, di ba? So we'll look for the highest, okay? Yung max function naman, this is another Google Sheet na mathematical function. This one, the max function is used to find the highest value in a range of cells. To use this function, you simply select the cell where you want the highest value to appear and then type equals max. This one is followed by a range of cells you want to compare separated by commas. For example, if you would want to find the highest value in cells A1 through A5, you would type equals what it calls one equals max A1, I open parenthesis A1 colon A5 close parenthesis. Okay. So again, the max function is used to determine which among the given numbers has the highest numerical value. Okay. So this one is an example. Ito. To use the cell, select where the highest value should appear and type equals max range. Okay. So for example, you have 30 records about sales, and then your boss would want you to what do you call this one, identify which has the highest sale, kumbaga. You don't need to look through the 30 records, di ba? Like imagine if you have 1,000 records, instead of looking it through or comparing it one by one, you can just go and then use the max function. Okay, with that, it just with just one click, you can just simply identify na, okay, ito yung may pinakamalaking sale. Okay, so that's the purpose of the max function. Yung counterpart niya naman, ito, if you notice, I'm using the, di ba, below sea level. Okay, ewan ko kung anong relevance ng picture, pero yan yung binigay ni Google. Okay, for the mean function, this one is minimum, di ba? Yung isa, it's maximum. The counterpart is the minimum function. The minimum function is just like max function, but yung hinahanap niya is yung lowest value, lowest numerical value. So we have here an explanation. It's just like the same, pero yun nga, the lowest value. The mean function is used to find the lowest value in a range of cells. And then to use this function, we are to select the cell where we would want the lowest value to appear and then type the given formula. The given formula is equals min or mean, and then open parenthesis, the range cell. Like for example, if you would want to know the lowest value in the given cell, for example, A1 to A5, we'll just type equals mean, open parenthesis, A1 colon A5, close parenthesis. Okay? Yan, that's mean and then max. Okay, someone is raising his hand. Sa'yo pa siguro to. Sige. Do you have any question? You have Kabingas, what's your question?
If mag-shortcuts ka sir ba, unsaon siya pag shortcuts sir? Unsay i-press
What do you mean shortcut?
sa function? I
Wala.
mean,
Wala.
CTR, wala sir?
Si Google Sheet is web-based man gyud siya. So wala siya particular shortcut key for min and max. So you need to type equals max or equals min gyud.
Okay sir, thank
Okay.
you.
Sige. Okay, thank you for that question. Sige, question daw regarding max and mean aside sa shortcut. Sige. Kung may question, again we are talking about numerical value. So dili pwede or you can't do mean and max with characters, with strings. You are only allowed to do it in numerical data types. So for example, numbers, ano pa ba? Temperature, currency, pwede yan. Accounting, pwede. Okay, but when you would want to know the max value of a name, yan hindi pwede. Okay, kasi wala man yung numerical value. Okay, and then we have here, sige daw, for me to confirm na you're okay with the mean and max, kindly type mean space max in your in-call messages. Sige, mean max. Ayan. Very good. Okay. Very good, very good. Okay. So I think majority of you here understood the concept of maximum and minimum in data analysis. Okay? Now we have here the last one. Diba? If. Yan. If you notice the picture, di ba? It's like creating or trying to question a particular data. Okay, we have here the mean function. Yung mean function daw is the function is used to return a value or one value if a logical test is true and another value if it's the false one. To use this function, select the cell where you want the result to appear, then type equals if, followed by the logical test, followed by the value to return if the test is true, and followed by the value to return if the test is false. For example, if you would want to check if the value of A1 is greater than 10, then and return yes. If it's true, then let's return yes. If it's false, then let's return no. Okay. So to do that one, you will type in your given cell like equals if open parenthesis a1 is greater than 10, comma yes. Double quote, I start quote yes, end quote, comma, start quote, no, and then end quote, no, and then close parenthesis. Okay, that's how you do it. That's for the if function. Now let's try to clarify what are the logical tests for a given expression. Okay, so sa what do you call this one? Sa if na function, you have what you call logical expression. Okay, now in a logical expression, you have certain symbols that you will need to use. Okay? Wait muna. Para we'll have, I'll just provide you with a, ano lang. Uh, you have here, wait muna. Okay. Ito na. Okay. Uh, can you see my screen now? I'm sharing a screen. Ay, sorry.
Yes, sir.
Ay, wait sa. I'm not, no, wait sa. I'll just, kwan sa, ako sa i-switch siya. Okay, kindly focus on this one. Ay, nawala ko siya. Ayan, this one. We have here relational operators. So these are the symbols that you will be using. Okay. You have here, this one is a symbol for less than. This one, the other one is less than or equal. The other one is greater than. You have greater than or equal to. You have equal, equal, and then not equal. Okay. So yan yung mga logical expressions na pwede natin gamitin whenever we would want to create if statements for Google Sheet. Okay? So let's now have question and answer sa muna before I will proceed with my demonstration. Sige daw. My question ba sa if function? Again, in an if function, you will be evaluating a certain value with a given logical operator. Okay, so you will be using less than, greater than, equal, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, or not equal. Yan yung mga example. Okay? Now, in a given expression for if statement or if function, you are required to provide two options. Kung magiging true yung result ng logical operation ninyo or logical expression, a true value will be provided. And then pag hindi naman, another false value will be provided. Okay? Sige. Walang question, kindly type if in our in-call messages. Sige daw, type if in our in-call messages and then I will start with my demonstration. Okay. Okay, I think majority mandani. Can you see the Google Sheet that I'm sharing?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, very good. So
Yes,
you have it
sir.
here.
Yes,
SBA 1D basic functions. So, di ba, we have here cells, di ba? Cells and then rows and then columns. So, for example, let's try muna the sum, okay? Para I can show you this one, di ba? So, for example, from A1 to A5, so for example, you have 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50. So, if you would want to add them, di ba? We are taught in mathematics na if you would want to add them, so we'll just simply call their cell address, okay? For example, equals, kani siya, plus, wala man. Wait, wait muna. You have 40 and then 50 equals, for example, A1, diba? Plus A2 plus A3 plus A4 plus A5. Diba? That's how we get their answer. Mga sa mano-mano silbi, if you notice, diba? Yung mano-mano. Now, if you would want to use the function, instead of using the mano-mano, ang atong buhato na lang dayon is that we will use the sum function. So, instead of using that one, you can just type equals sum, and this one, open parenthesis, you choose the range, yan, I'm choosing the range, and then press enter. Okay, automatic na siya mag-close gyapon. So, you see, they have the same answer, but then this one is more of an easier one. Okay, mas simple siya. Now, if you notice, since we are not directly calling the numbers, we are calling the cell address, di ba? If you notice, the cell address is done in area. So, ang purpose sa cell address, nganong cell address ang gitawag, or why is it na we are calling them not by their number, like for example, 10 to 50, hindi yan yung nilagay natin sa formula. So that if ever there will be changes on data, you can just simply, di ba, change it without disrupting the formula. Okay? Ay kung ang may tabo man gidayon equals sum 10 plus 20, ang may tabo dayon is that it will not generate another answer. Okay? If there will be changes. So that's the purpose of using cell address. Now, another thing to remember again is that, for example, in a given range, you have type here A, automatic, ito yung purpose ni ano, di ba? If you notice, if you will do this one in Microsoft Excel, automatically this one will become an error. But in Google Sheet, yung ginawa niya is that though it reads the whole range, di ba? If you notice, the letter A is not a number. Ang ginagawa ni Google Sheet, because this one is an intelligent worksheet man, is that it only adds 10, 30, 40, 50. Okay, so ibig sabihin, and then by default din is that Google Sheet identifies na lahat ng characters or string characters will be placed sa left side para alam nyo na merong missing. Okay? That's one good example for Google Sheet. Okay? Nako ba ang meaning sa sum? Di ba? Very
Yes,
good.
sir.
Diba? It's quite simple. Next, let's do the average. Okay? Di ba ang style ni average, wait. Di ba the concept behind average is that you add, di ba? You add this one, the 3. This one is for the sum and the go for the average. Now, yung sa average, di ba, when we compute for the average, what we usually do in mathematics is 10 plus 20, it's 10 plus 20 plus 30 plus 40 plus 50, and then open parenthesis divided by the number of it. So how many numbers do we have? We have 5. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. We have 5 numbers, so divide by 5, and that's how you get the average. Okay? Now, here's the thing. Sir, what if you will have 1,000 records? Okay, so mano-manoon, bagya po mo pag-type. I think that's wrong, di ba? So what we will do is that we will use the average function. So to do that one, you choose the cell where you would want the answer to appear, and then you type equals average, open parenthesis, and then you select the range. Ayan, di ba? So for example, there will be some changes on the data. You don't need to worry because you are using a function man. Okay? Di ba? It's quite simple. That's the average. Now, instead of doing this one, itong mano-mano, we can just use this one. Okay? Nakuha?
Yes, sir.
Very
Sir.
good.
Sir.
Very good. Now, let's have the max and then the mean. So, ang maximum, by its definition, will identify kung saan yung max. I will identify the highest value in a given range. So usually when I implement max is that I put label, for example, max. Automatic, yung kasunod niya will be considered as the max. So ilalagay ko dito yung max. So what I will do is that equals max, open parenthesis, select the range, then close it, and then enter. So automatic, si 50 yung maximum, ito yung nilabas, or this one is the answer, because obviously from the given set of data 50 is the highest. But look what will happen if I will put 120 here. Automatically this data here will also change. Okay, so the purpose, or another good thing also with functions, is that it will automatically identify any changes on the data. Okay, look, I will return this one into 20. Automatic din siyang lalabas na 50. Okay, so yan yung good thing with functions. We have here a question. Yes, tagulimot.
Sir, kailangan gid siya og kanaang butangan anang max sa first nga column.
Okay, here's the thing, it's only my concept. Kay, for example, look what will happen. If I will not put anything on it, will you be able to identify kung saan siya nga number?
Okay,
Tagulimot.
sir.
Diba?
Okay,
Very
sir.
good. So yan yung purpose lang ng label, okay? But if you the purpose man gyud of label is that to remove the confusion for someone who's reading the data. Okay? Remember, as BSBA FM Bayakay, we provide a complete, accurate, not only accurate but also a complete set of data or reports to our bosses and supervisors, or even to ourselves. Okay, di ba, for example, if you will be given with a financial report without any particular labels and names on it, I don't think you will be able to understand it, and you will be having some, sige na gali, I don't think you can create a sound judgment given if inanang may tabo. Okay? So, with max, or me putting here the word max, is me telling myself na this number is the maximum value for this given set of data. Okay? So, you can use other labels or categories. Nasa sayo na yan. Okay, that's a good question. Next, we'll have the mean, di ba? So, ang mean daw is for the minimum. This one is for identifying the minimum value on a given set of data. So to do that one, again, we need to declare an equal sign, tapos mean, and then open parenthesis, choose the set of data, close parenthesis, and then boom, automatically it will provide you with the minimum value in a given set of data, which is 10. So look what will happen if I will change this one into 50. Diba? The answers also change. For example, this one. So what will happen if silang lahat, or silang tanan, silang lahat daw, ano? What will happen if all of them will have the same value? Look what will happen. Diba? Both numbers will now become max and mean. Okay? O, diba? That's the purpose of having some generic dynamic formulas. Okay? So, any questions for max, mean, and then ano? Ayan, diba? Max and mean. Okay. At ito ibalik to si Sam para you'll have you'll have basis, or should I say example. So, we have here, this one is a particular error. Ako ipakita ang error ha. This one is a particular error. Ayan. Ito. Nag-error siya, it's because I provided a not tolerable set of data. So you have here, na-appeal niya pag highlight ang max 50, sum, and then even the own, kanibitang own nga sum silbi nga gibutangan. So that's an error. Usually, you will encounter this one if wrong ang imong or you have a wrong way of doing the formula. Okay, so to do that one, or to correct that one, don't worry ha. If you encounter this one, gali, don't worry. You can just simply erase that one and then type a new one. Okay? Just make sure lang na you highlight the correct range of cells para di na mawala. Diba? Ayan. Yo, for the sum. For the average, equals average range. Ayan. Ayan, 30. Now, how about the if? Si if naman, diba? Ato sa corner, we have greater than, ako sa isahon guys ha. Pakita malibog. This one is greater than, ano nga symbol, diba? This one is less than, am I right? Greater than or equal, less than or equal, and then equal. Or equal o siguro. The last one dayon is, I can't provide you with the equal sign, but equal. And then you have here the not equal, I'm not sure if this is the symbol to be used in Google Sheet or this one. Ato lang i-try lang. Okay? Duwa. For example, ano siya? This one is greater than. Kay mo may naatubang sa imong left side. So for example, if open parenthesis 10, example lang ni siya. So ako na yung tuplokon dayon ang kaning cell. For example mo siya ang basihan. Wait sa. Para kung equals if sorry. Equals if, and then for example, the maximum value, example lang ni siya, is greater than 30, comma, open parenthesis. This one dayon is, for example, okay. Kung ang value daw ni maximum is greater than 30, it will show okay. If it's false, then it will say not okay. Okay? And then close parenthesis. Okay? Anong okay siya gali? Because the value of B7, which is the maximum, is 50, is greater than 30. So for example, if I will type here 30, automatic, it will say not okay. Ano man, because 30 is definitely not greater than 30. It's equal to 30. Diba? Yan. Next, we have here less than. So pag mag less than ka, you can just reverse na lang dayon. Okay? You have here B7 and then this one is less than 30. Yan. 30 is not less than 30 mo nang okay siya. So for example, kani siya is 20. Yan. Ako lang i-change lang pag less than. Okay? So we need to remember, ganyan gali every time itaw nga I will type the word if, nasa iatag sa inyo nga syntax. So if, and then, yung siya dayon, you choose or you create a logical expression. So a logical expression is includes one cell address, the operator, and then the basis for that logical expression. So as operator, you can just choose among from this set na dayon. So for example, greater less than 30. Cell address. Ito for example, si minimum. Tapos less than. Tapos 50. Okay? The first value, ito, you have noticed value if true. So for example, after the Google Sheet will evaluate na this expression is true, itong value if true ang lalabas. If false naman is yung pangalawa yung lalabas. This one is true. Second one is false. Okay? So, hindi mo dayon. Ayan. So, if you try to evaluate this one, is 10 less than 50? True. That's why true yung lumabas. Okay? So, you can use true or false, yes or no, or kahit ano pa yung options na gusto nyong gawin, pass or fail. Diba? Yan yung mga common examples. Another one, you have also here if equals if. And then you have here the sum, example lang ito. And then greater than or equal to 200. If it's greater than or equal to 200, you would say true. Para ito malibog. And then if it's not greater than 200, we'll just say it's false. Let's now try to evaluate if it works. Ayan. So obviously, false siya because 150 is not greater than 200. Ito naman, it's true because what was the condition na gali? 10 is less than 50. Okay? This one naman, you have it here. Equals if, tapos again naman, sorry. Open parenthesis, you have here the cell, ito. Let's use the sum gyapon. And then, less than or equal to 200, comma, you have here true. Don't forget to use the double quote, true, comma, and then false, end of quote, close it, and then press enter. So, yung true yung lumabas, it's because 150 is less than 200. Okay? Yan yung mga explanation natin. Now, let's have this one. Okay? Equals if average is equal to 30, comma. This one is true. If it's true, true yung lalabas. If tama, true. If mali, you'll have false. Okay? Kahit malibog. Then press enter. Okay. This one, the answer is true because 30 is definitely equal to 30. Ito naman, not equal. Let's try to see kung ano yung pwedeng symbol sa not equal. So equals if, try natin yung average again. And then, this symbol. Okay. Try natin. Pwede. Not equal, comma. And then you have here true. Sorry. If not equal to 30, then true yung lalabas. If hindi siya equal to 30, yung lalabas sa kanya is false. Open parenthesis, press enter. Ayan. So you can use the symbol di. So I'd like to correct this one. Ito yung symbol na gagamitin natin. For not equal, ito yung symbol na gagamitin natin. Obviously, false yung lalabas because 30, am I right? 30 is not equal to 30. Parang mali ata. Ano yung ginamit ko? E8. Okay. Dapat yung lalabas dito, am I right? 30 is not equal to 30. True ba siya or false? Bakit false yung lumabas? 30 not equal to 30. Let's try to check. Kasi sila siya na expression. Okay? Not equal. Pero na siya. E8 is not equal to 30. False. Bakit false yung lumabas? Who can answer? Gidobe? Who can help me? Yes, please speak. Yes, you're recognized. Mirador.
Madung ko, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Tungod na ko, sir.
Yeah, we can hear
Madungod
you.
na ko, sir.
Explain daw.
Ay, kon, sir.
Yes,
Kay
yes, yes, we
false
can
siya,
hear
sir.
you.
Kay ang 30 is equal to 30 man, sir.
Right. You're right, you're right. Okay, guys, any questions? Okay, someone sent me a message. Okay. Okay, questions. I'm just fooling you guys. Okay, pasimito na nga, tulog na mo din na. Thank you so much, Mirador, for that answer. Any question regarding this one? Okay. Kung walang question, please type equal in your in-call messages and I'll be providing some announcements. Equal. Okay. Sige. Okay, first announcement. Ako na ipakita ha. This is our, I think this was the last activity. Akong gihatag. Ang uban kiwa naka let's just lang. Okay, some of you here did not understand the instruction nan pagdinigali. Grabe na, the instruction was very clear. Someone di na ako mga na lang, but someone tried to change the things I put here in my Google Sheet, and maybe he or she is not around during the discussion, so that's why he was not able to understand the instruction. Okay, I'll be providing you now, guys, with the list of those who were able to what they call this one, perform the activity. Ito lang yung nakita ko. You have Mabaw. Can you see? You have Mabaw, Faith, Carpe, Mabala, Mirador, Montemor, Dal. Wait sa. After kay Dal, kay naapod si Villegas, Orcajada, Balabag, Diego, Romo, Montemayor, Doringo, Rona, Carmen, Nagangdang, San Mark, Hidalgo, Pasatiemo, Pantonial, Cabello, Rosalejos, Yares, Lato, General Lao, Aladad, Lariba, Reyes, Lim, Sanchez, Carros, Quintana, Hariol, Takas-Takas, Amakna, Tagulimot, Adahar, Bation, Barrios, Tadeo, Ulat, Magadan, Cerilia, Roquillas, and Ganapit. Those are only the people, or those are the people who were able to perform activity number 1 for integrated application. Okay, for
Na
those
ako,
na wala,
sir.
pahayahay, wala ka dani.
No, naghimo man ko, sir.
Wala ko kabalo sa imo ha.
Kaning,
Aron,
sir, kaning payahay Catherine, sir.
is that yours? Ako man na siya.
Yes, sir.
So ikaw gidi ay ang naghilabot gidi sa akong Google Sheet gidi ay. What was
Ala,
the
wala.
instruction man?
Sorry kay sir.
That's why I did not give a score. Okay, Clifford, what's your question? Wala question. Clifford, Lariba, what's your question? Si Clifford. Tama siguro siya kung siguro. So again, let us follow instructions. Kay really, I'm very particular with instructions. Remember, when you take examinations, the first thing you will read by the instruction. If you cannot understand the instruction, you will really not get the correct answer. Okay? So for those, actually, nakabantay man ko nga, dagan kay nagbuhat, but then, they did not put a name on the Google, on the sheet that they are working. So, how will I identify lugar? Diba? I think that's wrong. Okay. Now, kato mga wala naka-perform, bawit sa second and third activity. Okay? Sige, let's move on. Sige daw, questions sa muna before I will start. Nabay question datong basic functions like sum, average, mean, max, and then if. Kung walang question, I will now proceed with the, we have a question from Montemor. What's your question, Giovanni? Giovanni, what's your question? Or natuplo ka na siguro? Can you hear? Saya? Padungan ninyo siya, guys? Or ako lang nakatungog?
Sir.
Wala na. Roquillas, madungan ninyo siya?
Yes, sir.
Dili, sir.
Wala, sir.
Roquillas, madungan mo siya. Can you tell us kung siyang giistorya?
Nawala na, sir.
Sa mangyod. Dili da?
Asin signal, sir.
Wala ba siya gistorya, sir?
Okay. Sige. Okay. So let's start na guys with our what call this one with our activity. I have here 2 activities, okay? And then I will post this one sa Google Classroom, and then you need to submit it sa Google Form, okay? There will be 2 activities. So each of you will really create your own Google Sheet, okay? Activity number 1, you are to create your own Google Sheet. Kadua pud gyapon, you need to create another Google Sheet for activity number 2 para klaro, okay? Now, I will tell you na you are 60 plus, but then I can check you whether you're just copying your classmates' answer or not, okay? So please avoid sharing your answers. If I can see gali, muna ang katugaling, I think last time, not to brag ha, but the last time I handled the subject, I think I failed more than 10 of them because I noticed na they have the same answers all throughout the activities. So please avoid it, okay? That's a fair warning to everyone. Okay, we have here the instructions. Ano instruction? Wait sa. But I will explain sa muna dani. Okay. Window. Wait sa. This one. Ayan. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
Wait sa. Maybe I'll ano na lang. I'll put it in a Google ano. Wait sa. How do I ano? Okay. Nala there guys, sorry. Okay, nasan ba yung notes? Ayan. Okay. Makita ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So you have here activity number 1. This one is sales data analysis. In this activity, students will use the functions sum, average, max, and if to analyze the sales data. So muna gini siya ang atong pang Bisbay na gid ni gid, ah. So you have here, a sales data will be a data sheet will be provided that includes columns for the following information. You have here salesperson, sales amount, date of sale, and then region. And the region where the sale was made. Okay. Next instruction, number 2. Use the sum function to calculate the total sales for each person. Okay. So if you notice, there are some here. I think more na balik-balik dani nga sales. Pero kung wala, then that's easy. So you can add it on the next column na lang dayon. Or basta kay in your Google Sheet, I can see nga kung muna ilang total sales kumbaga. Number 3, use the average function to calculate the average sale for each salesperson. So again, may mga nagbalik-balik dani nga mga pangalan. Later on, ako na siyang i-post gyapon. The 4th one, use the max function to determine the highest sales amount for each salesperson. And number 5, use the mean function to determine the lowest sales amount for each person. Okay. Finally, use the if function to determine which sales were made in the East region. They should use the if function to return a value of East if the region is made in the East, kaning sa region dani, and a value of not East if the region is anything else. Okay? So, again, ang purpose dani is for you to maximize your knowledge in sum, average, max, mean, and then if. Most of the questions, wait, sir, asa na mo ibutang ang mga answer namo? Guys, I already taught you how to do the formatting. So, for example, we will be using only one Google Sheet. One Google Sheet for activity number 1. Okay? Now, for this activity, kamo na bahala mag-format basta kay ma-answer ninyo, or I can see in your Google Sheet the answers from questions number 2 to 6. Okay? If I cannot identify it directly, then it would mean that you did not, or if I will find it hard to identify as I'm answer, then automatically I will not give you a score. Nakuha? Sige. Question daw. We have here a question from Giovanni. Giovanni, can you just type na lang your question? Kaya di ka na mo madunggan. Isa pa na question. Wala naman siguro, no? Mirador, what's your question?
Ay sir, sa Google Sheets sir ba kanang i-apil pa na mag-input ang date of sale og region sir?
Yes. Kani bitawng table bitaw nga nabitaw sa kaning sa ubos. Ako maning ihatag sa inyo sa Google Classroom. So dapat inyo siyang i-input yun. Okay? Part also, I have a clarification na nakalimot ko kung nito danito. Kay so most of the time people in the tech world are undermining the value of. Yes, nag-recording ko. Muna akong ingat kanina. Okay, some people are undermining the work of data entry or data encoder. So mura ba na ang first ba nga step in data analysis? So let's try to practice that one because not everyone will go directly to data analysis. Some of them or some of you here will start good from encoding all of the data. Ayan. Again, this one is recorded, so don't worry. So Carmen, to answer your question, yes, inyo siyang i-type pagyapon sa Google Sheet. Did I answer your question?
Yes sir, thank you sir.
Okay, you have here Tagulimot. What's your question?
Sir, balik ka ng kuan sir, diri sa date of sale sir ba? Kami mag-provide ana sir or kapihon lang ni namong naa sa imong
Kopyawan lang ninyo. Ang inyong purpose dahil gini activity is, 'di ba, ang gingon biya kay I will provide the data. So ihatag ko ning kay naka-table, i-input ninyo sa Google Sheet and then you perform numbers 2 to 6.
How about sa kuan sir? Sa kaning say names bitaw sir?
Okay, again akong klaro na kani bitong table nga naa dani more ni sa inyong gamiton. You will not provide your own name. Kani nga mga names, kani nga mga amount, kani nga sales, kani nga region ang inyong gamiton. Is that understood?
Okay sir.
Okay, thank you for that question, for that clarification. You have here a question from Carmen man siguro. Carmen, you have a question? Wala. Ramilito,
Wala, sir.
yes. What's your question, man?
Sir,
Okay, walay question o na ang sa mangyod?
Sir, ang i-function, sir, magbubuhat ko may laing column, sir, sa kilid. Abay sa
Yeah, kamo bahala.
region.
Yeah. Again na guys, 'di ba? I already taught you how to do formatting in cell Silbi. Basta kay I can see the answers for number 2, number 6. Kana kamo na bahala asan niyo ibutang basta kay automatically makita na ko nga okay, this is your number 2. This is your answer for number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6. Okay? Remember what the question of Tagulimot a while ago? Kato ana siya nga sir para asa di ay nga nabutang kag max og mean. Remember that concept. Okay? I need to be aware nga kani siya imong answer nimo. Okay? Gets? Okay. So, Ramilito, that's a good question, Gyapon. How about the others? Napay question? Carmen, what's your question?
Sa if na nga kuan sir ba? Sila tanan na mo kuan sir.
Pila ka?
Kaning tanan names and wait lang
I'm sorry,
sir.
but I can't hear you properly. Your question is pila ka if? Unsa wa ko sabot?
Kana ba daw tanan nga name, sir? Mo ba isulat daw, sir?
Yes. Yes. Tagulimot, you have another question? Sige.
Kuan sir baka na ang di ba last time manggod sir kay nag-provide ka og Google Sheet.
Oh,
By this time sir kana ang isa ra gyapon ka Google Sheet amo ang kuanan.
no, dili. Dili. Kamo na gid ang maghimo sa inyong own nga Google Sheet. Kay I want to avoid the same problem ito kato galing hilabtan ang akong sheet nako. So para gid wala hilabtanay sa lain, so you provide your own Google Sheet. Okay?
Gets na. Thank you sir.
So okay, thank you Tagulimot. That's a good question gyapon. Wala na ko nabutang sa instruction dani. So, isa ka Google Sheet for activity number 1 and other activity. Giovanni, can you please put down your hand kay ngano gatunga sa akong screen. Gapap up ito sa bitaw. Ayan, very good. Sige, another na pod ka question para klaro na to tanan ni guys. Wala naman siguro no. Sige, kung wala question, kindly put activity 1 in your in-call messages para we can identify kung na ba question o wala. Kung wala question, sige. Ayan, very good. Klaro mo siguro no. So if you have questions, don't worry, you can just send me a message or send a message sa GC. Okay, next. Diba kay since this one is an prelim exam man, you have activity number 2. Activity number 2, you have it here. Create a new Google Sheet document. This one is for budgeting na yun. Ayan. You have here. Create a new Google Sheet document. In row 1, create the following headers. You have item, category, cost, and then date. Kani gid ka activity, it's very specific yun da. Like unsay buhaton. So if you will not follow yun, then you will really not get the activity. In cells A2 to A31, diba? Enter the names of 30 different items that you might purchase such as groceries, clothing, entertainment, and etc. In cells B2 to B31, categorize each item by assigning a category such as food, housing, transportation, entertainment. Number 4, in cells C2 to 31, enter a random cost for each item, making sure that the same costs are repeated multiple times. Again, you have here very specific instructions, making sure that same costs are repeated multiple times. Okay? Number 5, in cells D2 to D31, enter a random date for each item. Okay? Number 6, in cell E2, use the sum function to calculate the total cost of all items. That's for E2. Number 7, in E3, use the average function to calculate the average cost of all items. In E4, use the maximum function to find the highest cost in the list. And in E5, use the minimum function to find the lowest cost in the list. In cell E7, this one is, I did not discuss this one kay kabalo ko yun yung mabuhat gyapon. In cell E7, create a drop-down menu that lists the categories created in step number 4. To do this, na instruction no, go to data, katong tab nga data, you go to data validation, you select list of range and choose the cells where the categories are listed. Number 11, in E8, use the if function to calculate the total cost. If function to calculate the total cost of all items in a specific category. The formula should look something like this. Ana. If B2, ayan, this one is an example. Ana siya. Number 12, I will then test the sheet by selecting a different categories from the drop-down menu and checking that the cost in cell E8 changes accordingly. This activity should help you become more comfortable with using the functions sum, average, max, mean, and if in a practical real-world setting. Questions. Sige. What are your questions? This is for activity number 2, ha? So kaning number 1, it's more of sales report. Activity number 2, it's more of real-life setting. Kani siya kay, ako nang yatag kay katong sa budgeting bitaw. So expenses budgeting. Activity number 1 and activity number 2. Activity number 1, ako magatag sa data. Activity number 2, kamo ang mag-provide sa data. So 30 kabok ang gipangayo. So prepare 30. So for example, napalit ko og eyewear or glasses. I can put that one. Napalit ko cellphone, I can put that one. Okay? Napalit ko og alcohol, I can put that one. So not necessarily nga mapalit ka. Katulong example lang nimo, just very random. Yes, Catherine, what's your question?
Bali kaning sa sir, sa number 2 sir, di ba grocery, clothing, and entertainment man siya sir?
Yeah.
Pwede groceries ra tanan sir.
No,
Or-
you need to have at least more than 3 categories. So, di ba, if you notice, you have groceries, clothing, entertainment, you can add more. Like for example, you have you have expenses on electricity bill, pwede gyapon. Ito mo na category or utilities, di ba?
Okay sir.
You hear a question from Carpe. Sir, mga miss recording sir ha kay nawala ko sa topic. Okay, I will just post it. Di mo mamutana ka sa ipasa or gusto ninyo ugma ni ipasa?
Ayaw sir.
Yes, sir.
Hugma, sir.
Maulang kami, sir.
Dilo
Groceries
magit-
o clothing akong nabasa, sir.
Unsa? What's your question, Ramilito? Ramilito, what's your question? You are recognized.
Pwede
Unsa?
pwede groceries o clothing. Groceries
No,
o
again,
clothing lang mabutang
guys,
item, sir.
No, dili pwede. Guys, ang gingon baya is dapat more than 3, ha? May instruction dapat more than 3 categories. So, di ba na po may accounting 1? Kasi na accounting 1 dani. Tagulimot na may accounting 1, di ba?
Nakalimot na ko sir.
Anda, sumong tagid mo ka mamuntangon dani. Di ba sa accounting 1 kaya na ba utilities, food, groceries, so may lain nga categories ba sa expenses. Di ba naaman?
Sir.
Di ba dagan maka, di ba? So you can use your knowledge in accounting to do this activity. Okay? So here's the big
Pwede isa sa entertainment, sir.
unsa?
Example, sir, may knowledge accounting, sir.
Uy, BSBB mo pag sure dira ha. We all go through ay wait lang guys, kahit lang. It doesn't require you to have an accounting course for you to budget your expenses, di ba? Even me I did not go through a whole accounting course ba I only have basic accounting. Ang isa tabi okay, ilista nimo imo expenses, di ba? And then you just total it. So it's not a disadvantage kundi ka kabalo, di ba? Yes, Charilyn, what's your question?
Sir, kanang sa item sir ba, diretso na lugar na mo ibutang dana sir kato among gipang palit sir.
Okay, wait. Para ba ito? Mamatadanin ako. I-tag sa example na. Wait sa. So, correct man to. Katugali itong ipanghatag ninyo ang inyong sugali. Ay, wait. My browser is not opening. The question of Charilyn is, sir, dito na ba na mo ihatag ang katsuto Charilyn? Ihatag ang katugaling name sa item? Pwede. So, like for example, Sorry, but my other browser is not functioning. So for example, bitaw napait ko og sudan. So I can label that one. For example, I bought Jollibee Chicken Joy today. So I can label that one as food, di ba? If I bought today an alcohol, I can put this one on my medical expenses. If I bought an eyewear, I can put that one for my, what do you call this one, personal chuchu. I don't know. If I bought a laptop today, I can put that one in my electronics, diba? Lariba, what's your question? Walang question. Did I answer your question, Sherilyn?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Guys, sa dili necessary basta bitaw sumbong na butadani pud da. Wala ta magipapalit ha. Akong buot pasabot dani is that you can just do it like figuratively. Like kamo ra magbuot-buot. Kung gusto mo mapalit og sakyanan, why not? Di ba? Wala problema. Kamo bahala. Carmen, what's your question? You are recognized.
Yung number 4, Sir Ban, earthing inter-random cause of each item. Repeated multiple times. Ibali ang cause sa item nga mong ginapalitis. Pwede ra siya ma-repeat, namo.
Yes. Imo na gibisay ang instruction. Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
Compatible man yun sa phone, sir, no?
I don't know, you can try. I don't know, you can try. You can try, but again, it's like what I mentioned in the first two meetings. I really recommend that you borrow a laptop para you can see the whole picture. Okay? If you can do it on the phone, then that's fine with me. It's fine with me. Really fine with me. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sige. Charilyn, you have another question? What's your question again?
Last na gyud ni sir. Kanang
Sure.
kuan sir ba? Sa kana bitang sum, average, mean og max sir kay magbutang pa mig label ana sir, like for example average ta sa abay day niya nga column sir kay dadto na mo ibutang ang answer.
Yeah. That's what I mentioned a while ago.
Okay sir, thank you sir.
Okay. So again this activity number 1 and number 2 kinahanglan dili ko maglisod pag-check. Kung maglisod ko pag-check din ako tagang sa score gid diretso. Okay? Kay remember, if you will be working in a company, you will not say your boss, you cannot tell your boss nga ikaw na pagsabot dana sir, di ba? You don't say something like that. You really help them with the data and then you provide them insights through a good, complete and accurate report. Okay? Am I understood?
Understood, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So again, for those who are worried about this two activities, do not worry because I will post a recording or the recorded session in our Google Classroom. Maybe I'll upload it. Okay, inani may tabo ha guys because this is what how I do it mangyod. If I will share directly with you guys the link to this recorded session, dili siya ma-open because I'm using an institutional email. So dili siya agka-share. So ang ginabuhat na ako is that I upload it in my YouTube channel. But again, do not share the link of the YouTube video. Kay this one is only dedicated for TCC, BSBA 1D. Musikat gali ko pagka YouTuber, ambot na lang gidani dani. Okay? So I will be giving you the YouTube link. It's not for entertainment, it's for educational purposes. Okay? Sige. Catherine, what's your question?
Ano sa ang deadline, sir?
Very good. That's the thing that I will be Okay, here's the deadline. So kabalo mo ko nga medyo maglisod gid mo dani manggid, di ba? So the deadline will be February 19. Batas Pakistanan. Ay, 19, sorry, 19 nun. The deadline is February 25, sorry.
Sir,
The deadline
Hindi
will
na
be February.
28, sir.
No. Oy, dili ko 28 pag sure mo sa 28 din. 28, uy. Guys, the deadline will be February 25. Okay, here's the catch. The February 25 deadline, dana nga time is dito mo i-meet. Okay, I will not meet you. I will give you all the time. Basta kay ang deadline nako is February 25. The submission will be through a Google form. So lay ang Google Forms sa activity number 1, lay ang Google Forms sa activity number 2. Ang inyong ipasa sa ako is the link. Make sure lang yun nga the link is accessible. Okay? Kaya kung dili, then that's the time nga I will provide feedback dayon bag ka next week if kuan man ako dili. Nakuha.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Guys, I'd like to remind you lang make sure nga inyo bitong link bitaw nga gigamit ay inyo tong i-share kay kan accessible to anyone with the link. Okay? Ayaw siya pag himuha nga. Sige, copy lang nako ang link sa Google Sheet. Pag mag-feedback gali ko by Monday nga dili siya accessible or maghatag og listahan, you need to change it gyud into a link that is accessible. Tagulimot, what's your question?
Saan siya pagkuan sir? Kaya para sa ko sir, wala kay ko knowledge sa computer.
Natay knowledge man. Gamay lang atong nakuan lang. Okay? Ato sang i-explain sa wait lang. Okay, so how do you share man a link? Wait sa, relax lang mo. Wait sa kay my dog is hawa sa wait lang. Okay, wait sa guys. Gusto na siya magawas. Later. Tat lang nila. Okay, so unsaon pag-share daw sa link. Okay, here's how you do it. Okay, so I will be sharing the entire screen na lang gid guys para you will have an idea. Wait sa. Okay. Wait sa. Share my entire screen. Sige, can you see it? My entire screen.
Yes,
sir.
Diba? You can see me, I can see you. Okay. Let's have this one. Kaning basic functions. Okay, if you notice bitaw, kita ni ninyo kani bitawng share guys, kani siya.
Yes, sir.
Tagulimot, can you see it? Yes or no?
Yes sir.
Okay. If you will click this one, guys, nahi mo to nga, nahi gito nga wala.
Naa sir.
Okay. Pag tubag mo kay para bitaw, di ko murag po ang dani. Okay. You have here, okay, ako turo na. If you will click this one, kani bitawng share. If you will click this share, and then this one will appear dayon. Katugaling imong how do you like this one is the process of sharing the link to any people. So ang imong buhaton lang dayon is you go to general access, you click this one, kanitong restricted, you change this one into anyone with the link. Okay? After changing this one, maklaro nimo kay ang may tabo dayon is that the anyone with the link dayon, you change this one into editor. Ay viewer na lang para gid safe gid viewer. Have this one as viewer para mag-view lang ko para wala ko ilain nga ano. After having this one set into viewer, you just copy the link, okay? You copy the link and then that's the time na dayon nga you can share it na dayon. So kaning copy link bitaw dayon, pag ako bitaw ning i-paste, for example, tanaw gali, pag ako i-paste kay iya tag ina nga form dayon, ay nga link. Ako So
Yes,
kayo din siya ang inyong ibutang sa Google Form. Okay?
Okay sir, gets na sir.
Okay. Ako na, you click on the share, you go to general access, you click this one, you change it into anyone with the link, and then you click copy link, and then mo din siya imong ibutang sa imong Google Form dayon. Okay? Nakuha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
Sige, other questions pa gyud para atong makuha na karon. Other questions? Sir, mo na itong midterm exam. Excuse me, this is just the prelim exam.
Sir, nakulbaan ko.
Unsa? Jessa, what's your question?
Wala, sir, kay.
Wala di ay. This is just your prelim exam ha. Ang midterm exam, you expect more. Okay? Okay, any other question?
Sir,
Kung wala,
sa Google-
pangutana pa gyud. Sa pagid, get lang, isa-isa lang. Eva, what's your question?
Sir, sa Google Form, sir, ang duha ka activity, sir, iisa ra na og Google Form. Kunyari, ang activity 1,
No.
butangan lang og number link.
No. Lay ang Google Form for activity number 1, lay ang Google Form for activity number 2. Kaya para gyud maklaro na ako kung nagpasa ba sa 1 ug 2. Okay, di na ako siya iusa. Okay?
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sige. What's other question? Last question. Sige daw. Going once? Going twice? Walang siguro. Please type Saturday in your in-call messages for me to confirm na, sir, I don't have any other questions and we can proceed with the documentation. Yan. So guys, I hope you learned something new for today. I'd like to request everyone to please turn on your camera for the documentation. Para na ako'y pang evidence.
Walay kamerang pan, sir. PC na ko, sir.
Kato mga walay camera, I hope you can provide the camera para po makita yung mga naong ninyo. Guys, if ever you saw me in TCC, please say hi para bitaw I can say po nga, okay, kamo dito di ay. Okay, in the count of 3 you stay sa count in the count of 3. Guys, you steady sa bang sa sila. Wait sa. Ayan. In the count of 3, you say cheese. 1, 2, 3, cheese. Okay, thank you so much, guys, for joining me today.
Thank you, sir.
Again, the deadline will be, guys, the deadline will be on February 25. So please make sure you can do it na dayon. Okay, I'll post the instructions maybe tonight or tomorrow. Thank you. You may now leave. Thank you.
Bye, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Bye, sir.
Thank you.
Uy, sabab ka dito.